Hey guys, it's Huntin for Games, and I'm back. I'm all set up. I'm in the new house. I've got the whole rig set up. It's taken me forever. I'm really sorry that I haven't done a video in like 2 weeks. It's kind of ridiculous, but I'm back and I'm ready to do the 2K Q&A video. You guys sent me some amazing questions, and I figured I had a lot of different ideas that were suggested to me of like how to handle this. A lot of people said I should do a private server thing. A bunch of people said I should do some like crazy Endgame notorious monster thing going on, but I couldn't think of what felt right, so I figured I'd just make a new character, start him off in Windurst, and just do some of those quests that I must have done, I don't know, literally like 12 years ago for the first time, and it's just like terrifying. I forgot they looked so different than they do in the game. They're like models that are not used in game that are used here. So forgive me for kind of leaning occasionally. I've got not only like quest guides, because I've always needed to have quest guides. Actually, this reminds me a lot of playing Final Fantasy XI back in like 2005, because I'd have a laptop for basically all of my needs. God, that's creepy. I keep getting distracted. So I've got all your questions to my left of me, so I gotta like kind of lean over to scroll down through that. But oh my god. I guess let's get into it. I think we gotta make a Hume, just classic, standard. Come on, show me faces. I think this guy is like the classic Final Fantasy dude. So we're gonna go with him. Forgive me if every once in a while I kind of like drone off. I'm actually really bad at live doing. What is he? I just get tired. Sprinting was exhausting. We've got to do Red Mage. It's the only thing I can think of where I get some spellcasting, I get to attack and equip these pieces of gear that I'm going after. Oh my god, name. It seems kind of silly, but whatever. Somebody has Huntin for Games on Odin. Somebody made that character. Alright, where is it? Sure. How is that possible? Finally. Alright, let's do this. Huntin for Games, because Huntin for Games is actually taken. I'm kind of like shocked by that. Anyways, player data registered. Oh my god, I haven't made a new character in 8 years. But let's get to the questions. I'm just gonna go through them. Oh my god. This is so weird. Oh, I've got to adjust everything. Nanamiga! I have 31 health. Yeah, this is my first time anywhere. Where did I come from before this? Oh my, she's telling me to start a craft of bone working 2 seconds into this game. That is the dumbest idea I can even think of. Oh my god, the Star Indian Brigade. I'm totally gonna go find these guys. Oh my god, there's like a Scooby-Doo reference here. All right. Wow, I'm so big. I'm so used to being a tiny tar. What? I don't even know what's going on there. Let's get into the questions. R5N is our first question. Tell us your funny story about drama in Final Fantasy XI that you participated in. The first thing I thought of, and I'm actually kind of ashamed to tell the story because I was kind of a dick. I was the dick in the story. we were partying in Crawler's Nest. It was like level 40 or something. It was a little deeper in. Maybe it was the standard. I don't know. It might have been against Beatles. And one guy that came out with us, I had to be 40 something because I was Black Mage and I had D2, which is super important to this story. Guy came out as Samurai sub Black Mage, and we're like, do you have other subs? He's like, I've got Warrior and Thief. I really wanted to try out Black Mage. And we're like, we'd really prefer if you changed it. And this went on for like 45 minutes. And we're like, please go change it. And he's like, I will in a bit, And finally, I warped to him. Everyone was like sending me tells to like kick this guy, get somebody else. So I invited somebody else. And warped to him, and he's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And I was like, no, we replaced you. And I kicked him out of the party, and I felt terrible for like weeks, and I still feel kind of bad. Do I have any money? No. Don't I get like an adventurer's coupon? Yeah. We're gonna trade this. But that was, he was pretty pissed off and sent us all some angry tells for a while. I mean, really dumb situation, but partying was serious. Like, if you got a party, like, That was a big deal. Samurai. Risky move for a samurai to come sub black mage though. But I mean, looking back, I should have let him try something new and different. Anyways, next we've got Rico Prime. Most memorable drop during the time of Final Fantasy XI. I probably have to go with the Carbuncle's Myth. It's a 100% drop. It's not like I gotta kill him like 10 times, but getting a group together, getting all the required items, I had to get a prelate key to open the door. Freaking just getting people to go out to Temple of Ugalep was just ridiculously hard. And he was a tough, notorious monster. I mean, obviously, Tomberries are always hard. They've got like throat stab and ridiculous stuff. Like he was, where am I going? I want to go to do Truth, Justice, and the Only Way. I want my Justice badge. I don't know why this memory of this quest is like so strongly in my mind. Anyways, and I wore them forever. The Carbuncle's Mitts are amazing. It was like that unique piece of gear. Didn't even tell you what it did. It had secret effects. I just thought it was so cool. I had free Carbuncle. It made me feel like a really, actually good summoner. I worked so hard to get him. It was just awesome. Just great memories of that. Next, we've got a couple from Kitten is Panda. How did you find out about Final Fantasy? A buddy of mine in high school, actually, we were talking about like in the middle of class. He was kind of like, hey, I got this game, Final Fantasy XI. Like, it's awesome. And he told me all about it. I was like, that game sounds really cool. I want to play that game. And he's like, yeah, you totally should. We should play it. And a bunch of my other friends to be, I guess they were my friends at the time, were playing it. So like I hopped on and he's like talking with all these people. And I was like, this game is like really cool. Like I had no idea this was so awesome. And I was like hooked almost immediately. I couldn't stop playing. Second question, what is the most memorable memory in Final Fantasy XI? There's a couple of questions that are kind of similar. I'll just keep doing all of them. Finishing the Dragoon quest. I loved the Dragoon job. I always wanted the little wyvern ever since I saw it in the Brady Games guide, like next to the Dragoon. I'm like, this looks like the coolest job ever. You get like a pet, you can name it. And the quest was really cool. It was like a moving story about like getting the last of the wyvern eggs. I kind of forget it actually. I wish I should do it again. It was awesome. It was the first thing in Final Fantasy XI that I could like name and that was like mine. And I was like, I had to do this. It was a great quest, and I always got one of my friends to do it, and I love the Dragoon job. I just thought it was so cool that I had like my little pet dragon. So next we've got Deku Man. I like that, Deku Man. What is your most memorable zone or moment in Final Fantasy XI? Similar. First time entering Lufay's Meadows, by far. First thing I always think of when somebody mentions Final Fantasy XI. You had to beat the 3 Prometheia level 25 missions, which were all a huge pain in the ass. Usually took like an alliance of people and then a good party that you were part of to beat your mission fight. And I remember when I first dropped in, I was dead because I died in the fight and I like appeared dead in Lufay's Meadows. Like, ugh. So I had to like home point, walk back out through Quiffham Island. But the first time you walk through, it was like such a cool zone. It was so much more advanced than all the zones I'd been in before because it's like a few years later and they kind of like upped the graphics a little bit. They had like amazing lightning effects. There was like a storm going on. The area was just beautiful. The music was so cool. And I was like, this game is awesome. I mean, Chains of Prometheia is my favorite expansion. So I was like so pumped. And that was like really what kicked it off. And I was like, I cannot wait to play more of this game. Daniel Miller. I can't multitask. I'm so bad at this. All right, who do I talk to? Colo. See, I'm so bad. I'm like not even doing anything. Hi, Colo. Oh my god, I remember doing this quest. Anyways, Daniel Miller, or is it Danielle? No, it's Daniel. Daniel Miller, what server do you play on? Odin. Always Odin, although I just made this character on Azure. It's like everybody's on Azure. I've always been Odin. I feel like I have to be forever. Daniel Miller's next question. What type of video plans do you have for Final Fantasy XI videos? Finishing the favorite Notorious Monster videos from levels 1 to 75 or above. I'm loving making those, even though I'm starting to get into the realm of like Notorious Monsters that other people need for stuff, which is going to make it kind of harder to make those videos. Also, I had a great suggestion from a Pepsi Soda Can to do top 10 favorite Final Fantasy XI songs. I love the music in Final Fantasy XI. It's one of my favorite things about it, so I'm really excited to make that video at some point. And I do want to maybe do a thing about like each job at some point, because I was a huge guy that was like constantly switching between jobs and like making new jobs. So I'd really love to actually do a video about each of the jobs of Final Fantasy XI. They're so unique and so cool, so I think I have to do that someday. I don't know what I'll do though, because I don't have all those jobs in like even 75. Maybe get their artifact, but the artifact's kind of still a pain. I don't know. We'll see. I hadn't really thought past those like 3 kind of things, but always taking suggestions, and as long as you guys are still enjoying them, I'll probably still be making the video. So send in whatever you think of, and I'll try to get to it. Then we've got okay, so a bunch of people have been asking this. Corey Merritt, Gamera, and I didn't win. I didn't win. This, oh my god, this cutscene is really long. Do you have an opinion on Final Fantasy XI private servers, particularly previous era servers like Nozomi? Great question, and I get this all the time in like comments, my thoughts on private servers. Got a couple thoughts. I love the idea of Final Fantasy XI frozen in time. I kind of, in many ways, hate what's happened to it and like how it's become this solo experience when it used to be so social focused for the leveling. Now, people will say that like the endgame is still, you need a group and it's still very difficult, and that's true. And I love that like I can do stories now that I would never have been able to do before. That's all great, but I miss like partying, and like leveling was my favorite thing. I loved leveling new jobs, and now it's like really easy and I just don't feel like doing it anymore. I probably wouldn't be able to play if the game was still the way it used to be, because like I don't have that much time anymore, but I miss the way it was. Yeah, kind of like got sidetracked. So I love that idea of Final Fantasy XI frozen time, but I'd miss my character. It actually is really weird right now, even doing this Huntin for games. Well, you gotta like make this a name that isn't just Hunt for games. It's gotta be like Huntin for games. It feels really weird playing a character that isn't Churoi. I've always been Churoi forever, and it's just bizarre. I could make Churoi again, but it just wouldn't feel the same. Also, as dumb as it sounds, but like there's something for me about running on like an official Final Fantasy XI Square Enix run server. I know that sounds dumb, but like a server that anybody is just running, it doesn't feel as like permanent to me, even though these servers are eventually going to shut down. Like Square Enix can't run them forever. It feels like it's like a permanent home in existence, and running on a private server that could just disappear one day or might like glitch out and like roll me back, it just wouldn't feel the same. I'd feel like I was always kind of like, I don't know, like it was playing a dream. I don't know how to explain it, but I probably won't touch the private servers, because on top of all that, I mean, part of me would hate to draw attention to those servers with like a successful video. If like a video really kind of blew up for whatever reason and drew attention to them, and then like, I don't know, Square Enix got pissed off and shut it down. I just feel like there are more downsides than positives. I love the idea, and I hope you guys are playing them, are all really enjoying it. I love Final Fantasy XI in its prime, so that's really cool. Matthew Smith. Ooh, I gotta start scrolling down. Also, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get my Justice Badge for like 3 mind neck piece. I remember I looked this up when I first started Final Fantasy. I was like, this is so cool that this is, what the hell? I need some gear for my crappy level 1 red mage. This kind of sucks that it's taking me forever to like run around and do all this. I kind of thought this would go faster. I've got a list of quests that I could get through, but I'm not even going to finish this Justice Badge one. I need a rare-up tail. Matthew Smith asked, when you first bought Final Fantasy XI installed and loaded it up, which was your first, most memorable moment that you remember from your first adventure of the game? Could be, you know, first XP party, first NM killed, anything. I guess it is an XP party. So I remember a lot of things from like those first days of Final Fantasy XI. Mostly my black mage like sitting and resting after casting 2 stones on like a whatever. But my first like real actual story, oh, I gotta get Signet. I don't have any other home points to travel to. My first, I did this party out in Tarangi Canyon with, I don't even remember what was in it, but we were like level 8 or 9, and someone, I don't even know who I started talking to, like, hey, do you want to party with me? And I was like, sure. What is this quest? I don't even know what these quests are. But yeah, so we partied, and I was like, this is great. Like, I'm leveling so fast. I'm getting experience really quick. I'm out in this area I've never been to, killing Dalmels. I'd never even seen one before. It was just such a cool new vista that I was looking at, because I've been like, oh, I love Eastern Cerudaburda. It's like my favorite thing. Field manual. Can I get like some training? What's page 1? Sure. And that was like my first real memory of like something cool in Final Fantasy XI. What is that? You're not supposed to be over here. Oh, you're probably from like the event. Oh my gosh, yes! Prepare to die, creature. Anyways. So yeah, I'll never forget that party. I don't even know who's in it. It was really fun though. And I was like, this game is really cool and I can't wait to like do more things with people. And that's when I like learned about partying and all that stuff. It was just really cool. Next we have Lucas Malazweski. That's not happening, sorry, bud. Do you still have a bat in the house? So we moved. So if he's in the old house, he's like staying really hidden. If there is one in the new house, I'll be pissed. I don't think so. I haven't heard any noises. But apparently they were in like all our neighbors' houses, like all down the row of houses, everybody had bats. And I don't know if everybody else dealt with them or what. Am I gonna die? I didn't even think about that, but I might have to chain spell Dia. I don't even have cure yet. Or weapon skill. I have nothing. I'm so crappy right now. Go, buddy. This is how I remember Final Fantasy 11. Just come on. Do something. Be better. Win. Anyways. So yeah, bat's gone. Thanks for asking. It's just been ridiculous. Leaf dagger. That better not be poison. I might die. I might not make it. What does this have? Maybe it has like antidote. What? No. Is that health? Regen. Yes. Oh my god. That just saved my life. Whew. Is that gonna combat the poison enough? Yes, we're going up. Alright. So I don't die. I can't believe I almost died on my second. See, that's Final Fantasy 11. I almost died 2 seconds into this game on my second fight because I got an unlucky poison. That is Final Fantasy 11. Alright. So, George Moa? Sorry. What are some of your AFK deaths if you experience any, whether farming, sky, parties, trains, and M's, etc.? Okay, so I didn't die, but my worst AFK story is definitely my, like, single solo sky experience. I got in this, like, sky group because I was so excited that I was a summoner and, like, useful in sky, and they were like, yeah, we'll take you, whatever. That sounds awesome. And I, like, kind of sucked. But it didn't matter, because summoner would literally, like, send in a Leviathan and, like, hope for the best. Alright, I need this bumblebee. I gotta get back to my quest. So, I did, like, Genbu with them once, and then somehow, like, got roped into, Kieran. I was, like, doing the Kieran fight. They're like, yeah, we need you if you're, like, around. I was like, sure, that sounds awesome. So I wasn't even gonna get anything from the fight, I just wanted to kill him. But we were kind of a new Link Shell. It wasn't like, we weren't that good, ultimately. I mean, I was there, so it couldn't have been that great. And we did not get this much experience back in the day. Like 160 experience for a decent challenge, no chance. That was like 80 experience at best. Is that the Arbiter on there? Oh my god, screw this. I'm gonna go hand this in. I wasn't even paying attention. Sorry, I got distracted. So anyways, it was pretty late. Like by the time we were fighting him, it was like 11:30 at night. And it took us like 2 hours to kill him. So about like 1:30. Now I was like at school. I was getting up at like 6. I was exhausted. About 1:30, I guess I passed out in between one of the send a Leviathan into spinning dive. And I just fell asleep. And I woke up later to successful Kieran kill. We managed to kill him. I got like the change, and there was a bunch of messages like, "You there? You ready to go in to do your spinning dive?" And they just left me there. I didn't die. I was just hanging out there by myself in the Kieran zone. It's kind of depressing though. Like the only time I've actually killed Kieran, I wasn't awake for it. So yeah. But I used to fall asleep all the time in parties. I'd try to get a party together, and like it would happen way too late. I'd be like, I can do it. I can man up and just get through this. And I would pass out, and they'd leave me there. And sometimes that resulted in death, because they'd leave me in a dangerous zone by myself, but happened all the time. Good question. Buddha 1978 Egypt. Oh, I guess that's probably 1978. Buddha 1978 Egypt. What was your first experience of Final Fantasy 11? Were you completely lost? Did you even know how to heal by healing, or did you have to go to Mog House? So, I had a bunch of people that I knew playing the game. I did not know how to heal, and I asked them. I said, like, what am I doing? I have no MP left. And the first thing they told me was that, like, you can restore it in the Mog House. And I'm like, do I need, like, an ether? What? They're like, oh, you can rest and it'll come back. So I'm resting. I'm like, this is taking forever. This is going to be a long time. My first experience that I really remember in Final Fantasy 11 was I hopped in, and my buddy knew I was starting it up, so I was like, hey, like, where are you? And he met me in Windurst, like, right over in Windurst Woods, like 10 feet away from where we are now, and traded me a cape. The, like, 3 defense cape. It's, like, really crappy. But it was, like, level 7, and I was like, oh, dude, you didn't have to... I was, like, really happy. I was like, oh, thank you so much for, like, getting me this. You didn't, like, have to give me that. It cost him, like, 200 gil. But I was so grateful, and I was like, man, this game is gonna be so cool, and like, my buddy can give me gear, this is awesome. But that's my real first memory. But no, I had no idea what was going on. I was so confused. To this day, I still don't understand many concepts about this game, but I was very lost. And as a little black mage, I was even more confused, because I was like, I'm attacking stuff and nothing, it's not getting injured. Like, you have to cast spells. I'm like, right, but I have MP enough for like 3 spells. Like, it seems like crazy. But another good one. Oh my god, but yeah, I almost forgot. To support my lack of knowledge, I bought the Brady Games Guide. Did anybody have the Brady Games Guide for Final Fantasy 11? It was like incredible, and how bad it was. It gave some useful information about like items and monsters a little bit, but it was, oh my god, like they would suggest sub jobs for different jobs. And one of my favorites, Bard Thief, to enhance the party's coffers. It was like a suggestion. They like said that was a good suggestion. They was a Dragoon Bard, because they're like, oh yeah, your spells will make the Wyvern like heal the party members. No, that like sort of true, but that is a terrible situation because the spells cast forever and you have to do like 25% health. Like, it doesn't work like that. They basically like never played the game, and they just kind of, I gotta trade this too. It was absurd, and I had it forever, but the pictures always made me want to play Final Fantasy 11. And like when I couldn't play, I would like bring the Brady Games Guide and just like look through stuff that I wanted to do. And that's why I leveled Dragoon, was because like the picture of the Dragoon in that game was like so awesome. All right, so from Rebellion Zero, what was your favorite endgame part, and which one was your favorite? I think I copied this wrong, but was your favorite Dynamis? So one of my favorite parts about Final Fantasy 11 is there's so many different endgames that have like emerged, and I've only done a few of them. I did a little bit of like, what was it? Treasures of Adargans. What were they called? The like missions you could do? I can't remember. I did a little bit of those. I did Dynamis a lot, and I did Little Sky, and then Limbus. And my favorite, I think, was Limbus, because Dynamis was super intense, but it was like 3 hours. And as fun as that was, there were very few times in my life where I like could definitively say, okay, on Tuesday at 8 o'clock for 3 hours, I can definitely play Dynamis. And I loved the equipment that you got from it, and it was fun while I was doing it, as long as I was sure I could do it. But it got kind of stressful, because, I don't know, I was like in high school. My mom would be like, dinner's ready. I'm like, I can't eat dinner for another 2 hours. And she'd be like, can you please come down? I'm like, no! Just sparked a lot of controversy. Oh my god, I got the Justice Badge. Look at this, I just got a piece of gear. I can't... I totally forgot it was level 7. I just blanked. I can't equip this at all. Yeah. Alright, next quest. That was a fun quest though, I had a good time. Which is, can I get a shield? Sorry, I'm just gonna look this up real quick. That's level 14. Wow, I totally didn't realize that these like level 1 quests gave such high level gear. Never having to get reputation? It's crazy. My favorite was totally Limbus though. Like, Dynamis was really cool, but Limbus was great, because it was like quick little half-hour, maybe 45-minute things. You fought some incredible monsters in there, depending on like which Limbus run you did. Like Behemoth, some of the dragons that I never even got close to in the actual game, like, were just like part of a Limbus floor. And it was really cool for me, because I'm like, I get to see all these like awesome and incredibly hard, high-level notorious monsters that I would never actually fight otherwise, and they're part of this like half-hour run. It was just really cool, and the gear from it was awesome. I love that you could upgrade the artifact gear to like make it even better, because I love the artifact gear. And then there was like the Omega and Ultima gear was freaking insane. It was just a lot of fun, and I got really into that because I could say like, oh, I have 45 minutes at like 10 o'clock. I can do that. But, plus C was cool. C is really sweet. Brandon Mitchell, what is a quest or NM that you wanted to beat but could never seem to get done due to its difficulty? The number 1 quest I tried to do, but just never could do, which I said a couple weeks ago, was the brown belt. I legitimately wanted to finish that quest. I wanted to earn that brown belt, and I just never could. I just sucked at getting those notorious monsters, and I used to get so frustrated. But the only one that like I occasionally really wanted to finish, but couldn't, was the Liu Shang's fishing rod. So I don't know if you guys remember, but you had to get like 6 million carp or some nonsense, like some stupid. And I didn't even really like fishing in this game. I wanted to like fishing. I wanted to be a good fisher. I always wanted to do the quest, and I would start and I'd get like 10 carp. I'm like, this is gonna take me years. I can't do it. I just can't. Anyways, next, we got a couple more from Brandon Mitchell. He asked a bunch actually. This is awesome. What was your first job at 75? How long did it take? First job technically that I got to 75 was Thief, because I got Summoner to like 73 long before that, and never got it past that until way afterwards. I was like, finally, because Summoner doesn't really get a ton of differences between 73 and 75 if you don't have that like insane endgame gear. All the cool blood packs you get at like level 70, so I just left it at 73 for like ever. My Summoner journey to like level 70 though took like a year. It was my first job that I got that high, and it took forever. I don't remember what I was doing. I guess leveling other jobs, doing all the missions and quests. This game, I just like, it took me forever to do stuff. I'm pretty sure it was like a full year before I got it to 70. Next question, most favorite job, least favorite, and why? Favorite job? It sort of changes on mood. My whole thing with this game was that I love to level different jobs. So I don't know if I could pick my absolute favorite. Summoner, because it was really unique in how it was done in Final Fantasy XI, and all the avatars were like so big and huge and imposing. It was just so cool that you'd be like running along and all of a sudden like Leviathan would fly by you and you're like, that job is incredible. I don't know, it was really cool, and it could do some really unique and awesome stuff, like with Carby kiting and just soloing things that most jobs couldn't, because it was a pet job, and like totally summonable pet that could just die. I gotta go out and level a bit. Sorry, in my mind this was gonna go a lot differently, but I am struggling to focus on all these things at once, and I'm not really making much progress in my new character of Huntin for games. Huntin for games. Anyways, next. Still Brandon Mitchell. What is your current most desired piece of gear? Ooh, that's a good question. Problem I'm having right now is I can't really decide which job I'd like to move forward with at 99. Because I had Blue Mage there for a while, and Blue Mage is really cool and diverse in what it can do, but I'm not really enjoying its 99 stuff, if that makes any sense. Like, MP is never a problem anymore, so you're blowing these spells all the time. It doesn't really feel like Blue Mage used to be that like you'd occasionally cast a spell. You had to be really careful about what you casted, because like your MP was always a problem and you couldn't rest because you had to like have your TP. And now that's not really a thing. It's just not quite the same. So I can't really decide what job I want to move forward with, which is affecting overall. I forgot to rest. What gear I really want to go for. So no, it's kind of like a crappy answer. But I've been piecing together gear in a couple different jobs, so if I figure it out, I'll let you know. I think it's the last one from Brandon, which I gotta scroll down a little bit. Nope, 2 more. What would you change about Final Fantasy XI? A, I would make old school level 75 content like important again. It used to be the hardest stuff in the game, and it's kind of sad that it's like, A, useless. There's no reason to even do it anymore, and B, not difficult at all. I'd love for there to be some sort of like hard mode that like gave cool gear or something. I don't know. I'm not very good at designing that kind of stuff. Sharp Sting. Oh, Final Sting. Remember Final Sting is level 2. I can do anything. Not sure where that came from. Need some herbs. I still got to kill a couple more of these guys. Going on. Last question from Brandon. Oh no, there's. Oh my god, dude, you asked so many questions. I'm not upset about that. I keep thinking I'm at the end of the list. There's like 8. All right. Why do you think that after so many years of Final Fantasy XI still holds appeal for players? Okay, so this is. I wish somebody like that made MMOs was listening, because it really felt like a living, breathing world that you were in, and part of this was the social aspect. Like, when you have real people, nothing makes things feel real more than having other real people around you. Like, not scripted NPCs, but like people. And when you share your stories about like these crazy notorious monsters that you fought, and that ridiculous quest that you did, or when like pirates boarded your ship when you were going to Selbina, like you're telling all these stories and people like elaborate a little bit, and it just makes it more real. It's not just like I was doing this in a game and it happened. You like heard a story of something happening and it wouldn't happen to you for like years. And that was just all, it all felt like so alive. And like, and with that slow play style, like right now, like I could type the most ridiculous sentences to people. Like I have time to do that because there isn't that much input required in the game. And like, some people would say that's kind of boring these days, but like the slow, methodical play style of Final Fantasy XI, I loved, and it really gave you plenty of opportunities to socialize with people. And when you party for like 4 hours doing the same abilities over and over again, eventually you start talking because you're like, I'm bored. It was just a really fun social experience for me. And just like everything felt so impactful. It was just awesome. Plus the stories are really cool. I mean, all of it. So next one, still Brandon Mitchell. Do you have any questions that you, do you have any questions? Do you have any zone that you're really fond of? His example was Prograno. I'll just like to hang out and love it. Lufay's Meadows, like I said earlier, is always the first one I think of when I just think of Final Fantasy XI. I love Lufay's Meadows, but if I wasn't going to say that, maybe East Rudabaruda, because like, this is my first zone. Am I going to die? I didn't die. Oh, I have a weapon skill. Wasp Sting! What was I saying? Anyways, whenever I'm in Windurst and Rudabaruda and I hear this music, it just reminds me of, I feel like I'm 10 years old again. I wasn't even 10 when I started playing this game, but this reminds me of Final Fantasy XI. It's one of my favorite zones. Also, just as like a throw out, Sanctuary of Zeta, amazing music, just such a cool like fantasy zone, just so neat. I gotta rest. This is a great video that you guys are all probably really enjoying of me resting as a level 2 Hume. In my mind, this is gonna go way better. So anyways, last one from Brandon Mitchell. We've had a great run, Brandon, I'll miss you. I see you are often on Blue Mage. Do you have all the spells, which is hard to get? No, I do not have all the spells. Some of them are ridiculous. Even like some very important everyday spells are ridiculously hard to get. And that's part of my frustration with Blue right now. It's like, even back at 75, some of the like Kaderva Meyer ones, even if you can easily kill the monsters that provide them, sometimes you just won't learn it for like hours. It took me like 3 hours to learn this one stupid spell. And then some of them are also from very difficult monsters that I can't kill by myself, even at 99. Just kind of frustrating. And I feel like I should have all the spells, or I'm like a shitty Blue Mage. So, you know, there's that. Which was the hardest to get? I can't remember which actually was the hardest, but definitely any of those that like required a party to kill the notorious monsters were just miserable. All right, next we got Curtis Halquist. Did you ever die in level 9 on your way to the dunes and de-level to 8, so you were stuck having to get re-level 9 and re-walk back? He said, yes, this was a question for the dunes parties where power leveling was a thing. Yes. But I think it was like, actually, I was level 10 and I went down to 9. But I want to say it was like, I did this with Warrior, because Warrior took me forever. I hated Warrior. Like, I've been sitting here way past when I had to. I hated Warrior on my little Tartar. I don't know why it bothered me so much, but I couldn't stand leveling it. And I got to level 10 and I was ready to take it out, and I got into a party. And like, we pulled something that was too hard. Immediately, I died, de-leveled to 9, and the party broke up. I was so pissed. I think that was like a rage quit day. Like, I just shut the game down. I was like, this sucks. And I just needed Warrior sub done so I could level my stupid Dragoon. I wanted to level Dragoon, and I couldn't get it past like level 15 because my Warrior was so low. I just hated it. 3. Level 4, I'm gonna start losing XP if I die. That's scary. Yeah. All right, next is from Rustic Blazer. I would like to know your thoughts on the expansions that have come out for 11. Being, what's your favorite, least favorite? Okay. The COP, Chains of Armasia, number 1, hands down, not even a question. It was, always has been for me and always will be the absolute best. Zillar was actually already out by the time I started, so it's hard for me to picture like the game without Zillar. Like, I've read about what it added, And it was basically like all my favorite things. So Zillart may be my favorite because it like made the game what it is for me. But I only played with Zillart and has some of my favorite zones in the game. It introduced like Dragoon, Summoner, Ninja, Samurai, like awesome stuff. Treasures of Ottergon, I have mixed feelings about. Like, it sped up meriting and like the speed of leveling to endgame, which is all cool. But it made mages like almost useless to the process and kind of killed magic bursting, which I loved magic bursting, and mages in general, and it kind of ruined the game from that perspective. So I always kind of look at it like why'd you do that? Wings of the Goddess had me so excited. Like, I really wanted to be in that war of 20 years ago and all the cool things that happened in that like storyline, and the cutscene from the beginning of the game where you're out in like what apparently is Tavnazia getting his ass kicked. I wanted to go to that fight. I wanted to go to Tavnazia back before it was the Tavnazia we know today. And just none of that really happened. We kind of like got to go back to an older Windurst, which like wasn't as interesting. I don't know, the storyline was cool, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be, which isn't really fair. But it also introduced like things like Dancer Sub, which Dancer was really cool and conceptually was awesome, but Dancer Sub kind of changed how people approach the game. It went from meriting, which was already super fast, to like, we never have time to rest. Like, there will never be resting again. It's not necessary. And campaigns were kind of a pain in the ass. Like, now you could finally level a little bit on your own, even if you weren't like a Beastmaster, which is so cool. And I remember I did campaigns a lot, but campaigns sucked. Like, they were so annoying. I don't know. So overall, Wings of the Gods was kind of a letdown for me. What else we got? Abyssea. I hated Abyssea. I wanted to like it so bad. Abyssea introduced all the things that I think were the worst choices in this game. Like, I didn't like the level cap increase was okay at first, but kind of just like killed all the things that I loved about Final Fantasy 11. I hated Link Shell leveling. I felt like I was doing absolutely nothing. You had to be there for like 5 hours or it didn't matter because the first 3 hours were like useless. And then people would level from 1 to 99 in like a day. And all of a sudden, like, leveling, my favorite thing, was totally removed from the game. I don't know. It kind of made me quit, actually. Adeline's cool. It made the 99 experience more fun and more interesting, in my opinion, than Abyssea. I also hated that Abyssea, like, ruined the regular game. Like, you didn't want to be out in the normal zones anymore. Because why would you, when you could be so amazing? What else do I need for this next quest? I need Rabbit Hide, 2-leaf Mandragora Bud, and Insect Wing. Where's, I guess these guys? Do I have an Insect Wing yet? How do I not have an Insect Wing? So, Adeline's cool, I guess. It's alright. It kind of turned the game around, at least for me, at, like, endgame right now, which is cool. I still miss the old game. Nice Wasp thing. That was fantastic. Alright, next. Where is next? Alright, 2 from Killa Creek. Where is the question? This is my fault. I copy and pasted it. Weird. Oh, what made you come back to Final Fantasy 11? I don't know if you've kept playing all this time or you recently came back. I did recently come back. It was like 6 months ago. I hadn't played in like 4 years. Basically since around when Abyssea kind of finished off. I was like, I don't like this. What made me come back? So, did I get a Insect Wing? Yes. Where is this guy? So, honestly, my friends, they're like, yo, have you heard of all the incredible stuff you can do in Final Fantasy 11 now? Like, we have to go back. And I was like, I don't know. I tried to do this, like, in the last free campaign. But they told me about it, and we, like, hopped in. And playing with them was way more fun than, like, when I just hopped in by myself. So we actually started playing again, and, like, got really into it. I got some jobs up. And I started having fun again, just, like, doing... Anyways, I was, like, really excited about I could go back and do all the things that I used to love to do without stress. And I could just, like, level some jobs by myself, and it'd be fun. Or with, like, the 3 of us. Because that's what we always wanted. We wanted to be able to have parties with just the 3 of us. That was, like, fast, efficient experience. But we wouldn't need, like, a full party. Because full parties are a pain to gather. Especially now when there's, like, not enough people. Rhapsodies of Vandale, that's what it's called. I like how the resolution of that image is, like, still Shitty. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty much it. In the past, when I've come back, people have like just played me some music. I'm like, I have to go back. So next question from Killer Creek. What job were you most excited to level back in the day? You actually brought up one of my favorites, Monk, as Tar because of the Azure and Fist backflip, which is totally true. And sorry, I'm doing a terrible job of this. Killer Creek mentions like things about jobs that made you want to level that job, and this happened to me all the time because leveling was one of my favorite things. So I would level something to like 10 levels. I'd be like, all right, I gotta switch to another job. So I had a ton of jobs at like level 60 forever. Thief, really wanted to do SATA, weapon skill chain, and lockpick treasure chest. When I found out that they could just like open treasure chests, I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever heard of. So I was like, oh my god, I have to level Thief. Thief was one of my earlier ones too. And the AF, the artifact was just so cool. Summoner, I just wanted those awesome giant summons. The first time I saw Arama, I was like, I need to level that job. It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. Black Mage, I left Black Mage at like level 35 for a long time. Until I saw, I think it was like fighting Kieran, I saw some of the tier 4 magic spells, and I was like, guess I'm leveling that again, because that is super badass. Pup. I loved Pup. It just, the first time I saw a Pup doing stuff, I was like, it's doing everything. He's doing weapon skills, his puppet's casting magic. Apparently he can cast black magic, or like be a red mage, or be a white mage. And he's always doing monk stuff, and I already really liked monk, but I was getting kind of bored of it at 75, because it's not like the most engaging job. So I was just super pumped about it. Just seems so cool. Monk, the Azure and Fist backflip, that's totally why I leveled Monk. I don't need that rare tail. Did I miss something? Rabbit hide, 2-leaf magic ore bug, and an insect wing. What did I don't know what I just gave him, but it was the right stuff. There we go. Now I get some gills, I think. That's beautiful. 200 gil. That was definitely worth it. It was totally worth the trip. Do I have any money? Can I go buy a spell? Time to go buy a spell. Maybe a sword would be more useful. Anyways, oh, what else? Pierces the Dragoon. I already said this in the Brady Games guide. Totally maybe want to level Dragoon. And actually, the Final Fantasy FFXI Clopedia, the wiki, they had a cool picture of Dragoon that always made me want to level Dragoon. So every once in a while, I'd be like, I'm gonna go look at the job list again and see if anything like I really want to level that. I did that all the time. It was what I did like at work. Dark Knight artifact gear, maybe we want to level that job a million times, but I never really did. I got to like level 22. Red Mage artifact and the crazy stories that my friends would tell me, because I had a couple friends that were Red Mages, and all the stuff that they would like do, I was like, I really want to level that job, and I'd level it for like 5 levels, and I'd get exhausted, because it's all the rotations about like keeping up haste and refresh, and cures and feebles, and I love what it can do outside of parties, but in parties I was like, I'm so tired, I can't do this. Ninja, Blade Coup. I want a Blade Coup so bad. It's like the most badass weapon skill in the game at 75. And I tried because the idea of being a little Tar tank seems so sweet. And I got Ninja up to like 53. And then I kind of slowed down. It's expensive. Ninja used to be expensive. Samurai, the Soburo and Tachi Gecko. I wanted Tachi Gecko. And I leveled Samurai to 75 with the Soburo. But as soon as I got it, I'm like, and now I have to level Samurai forever because this is amazing. Paladin, I always wanted to be a little Tar Paladin with a shield, just like standing there facing against like ridiculously large creatures. And Blue Mage, I saw Blue Mage doing things like Sickle Slash and like other spells that always were like so ridiculous against you. I'm like, this is so cool that they can do the stuff that kills me all the time. Like, I really want to level that. Is this the magic one? I think so. It looks like a scroll, right? Patrick Brand, are there any armor weapon models that trigger a disproportionate amount of nostalgia for you? Just thinking about the burgundy someone's memories of endless hours shooting beetles and quicksand caves. The Scorpion harness, because I wore it on so many jobs that like could only wear the Scorpion harness. The austere robe, and little stuff like the battles gloves or like the spike necklace. That always like really makes me. It triggers my nostalgia, especially if you can get the icon itself. I'm like, oh my god. Because I just wore it so much. It wasn't even like stuff that was the best. I just wore it on everything. Here. Yes. What do you got for me? I have no money left. stone. I get stone at level 4. Better buy it now. This is ridiculous. I really thought I was gonna make more progress. I got a slung curry, that's cool. So also from Twitter, we had a Twitter question. I couldn't believe this. Rainwaters. Favorite job and area from the Treasure Vadogan era. Oh, I wrote my answer in. Anyways, definitely Pup, as far as like new jobs go, if that's what you meant. When Pup was introduced, I just thought it was so sweet that you could have this puppet that could have like stone skin and flash, but could cast spells, or it could be like a ranger. Like, I just loved how diverse. I love the jack of all trades jobs. They always kind of sucked. Historically, besides Red Mage, they've never really been able to balance them out very well. But I love the idea of being able to do all these different things. And Pup was so cool with the way you had to keep things up. It was just neat. But like during the time period, Black Mage and Summoner kind of fell off for me because they were like useless for leveling. I only had like a few successful merit parties with Summoner or Black Mage. Thief and Dragoon were my favorites because like you fought Calibers all the time and they were rocking them with their piercing weapons. It was a fun time to be a Thief or Dragoon, even though somehow Warriors were still better. I never really understood. But it was a fun time for my melee jobs. So Genshikenkun. Dragon Quest X is basically Final Fantasy level with modern day graphics and a Dragon Quest skin. Square Enix said that if there was enough time for support, if there's enough fan support, they may be bringing it to stateside. If they did, would I be willing to play it? Totally. I've read only a little bit about it, mostly because I'm worried that if I read too much about it, I'll get too excited and it'll never show up and I'll just be like kind of depressed forever. So I'm trying not to get myself too hyped about it, but it looks totally like what you said, like Final Fantasy XI with a Dragon Quest skin. It would be a totally new experience for me, and not Final Fantasy XI, but like very similar. I would love to play it. I don't know, some part of me doubts that it'll ever come stateside. I don't know if they'll get that much support or realize how much support there could be with the way MMOs are today anyway. But it would be really cool. I hope they do. It'd be a lot of fun. Michael Graca? MCLGRACA 15. We're going to go with Michael Graca. I'm adding the I know. What got you into doing vids for Final Fantasy XI, given how the number of players are very low now? Is his first question. So, or her first question. I really don't know. Sorry. Honestly, so I always was kind of sad once I started doing YouTube videos. Like, I love doing YouTube videos about any game that I currently am playing. Final Fantasy XI is actually probably the only outlier there, because when I first started to do the videos, I was very into it, and now I'm kind of just like doing it for the videos during a period while my friends aren't really playing as much. But I kind of just woke up one day and I was like, you know, I love playing video games and like talking about them, and I really want another outlet to do that. So I'd love to make YouTube videos about video games. I kind of just like jumped into it. So Final Fantasy XI, I always kind of regretted that, like, back when I played Final Fantasy XI, it would have been the perfect kind of thing for me to do videos on when I was playing it all the time. And I was like, it just sucks that I never got to. I loved that game so much. I just hate that I can never share like all my stories about Final Fantasy XI. And then they had like a free login campaign, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a quick one video about it. Just kind of talk about what's going on with it and how ridiculous it is, and like mention a few of the fun times I had. And the video exploded. Like it had, right now it has like 44,000 views, or almost that. When like the next highest is like 10,000. Like, it's absurdly high and successful for videos on my channel. And just showed how much like people still love and miss Final Fantasy XI. And there was so much support for it that I was like, I have to make more of these. I'm actually having a lot of fun playing Final Fantasy XI. I'm level 4, I can use my thing. I was so excited about the concept that I could like play Final Fantasy XI and make videos about it, and like people would watch them and be excited. Because most of my videos, I'll be totally honest, don't really do that well. It's kind of a crapshoot about like whether or not they're seen and kind of like explode. So when Final Fantasy XI exploded, I'm like, of course I will make more of Final Fantasy XI videos. That's like my dream. So I started making more, and you guys keep watching them, and that's awesome. I can't tell you how excited I am that everyone else is as excited as me about Final Fantasy XI. Obviously it'll have to end one day because the game will end, but until then, I'm gonna keep up with it. while still putting out videos about the other games that I'm playing. Like, I'll never stop doing that because ultimately, I like to make videos about games that I'm playing or have a lot of passion for because it's just more interesting to watch, in my opinion. Like, you don't want to watch me play a game I'm not having fun playing. Nobody would like that. Oh my god, this crawler is kicking my ass. Classic. Gotta time this. Still got it. Except that cure sucks, so. Still got it. Anyways. So yeah, even though the player population is low and like the number of people that could see it is much lower than another game, everybody's watching my channel is really enjoying it. So I'm happy to do it because it's I'm not gonna make it. Oh god. Unless he misses me, I'm screwed here. Yeah. I'm still probably screwed, but miss me again. I'm not gonna make it. No! Oh, that gong. That is just depressing. Yep, crawlers. Every time. Anyway. Oh god, my battery's running low. I better finish this before I can't ask the questions. Other question from him. Did you ever attempt a relic weapon from Dynamis? If so, which? No, only because I knew I'd never finish it. It was too much for me. I spent so much time leveling different jobs, I couldn't even decide which one I'd want to go for. And I couldn't really do Dynamis that much anyway, so it wasn't gonna happen. I never really tried the relic weapons. They were super sweet though. Every time I saw one, I was like, oh my god. I was actually a pretty like casual player. Oh god. My laptop's gonna die. I was a really casual player. Like I played a lot, but I didn't really get into the intense stuff very often. Two more. One from Kingbait. What was your favorite part of Final Fantasy 11 from between the time you started playing and when you hit level cap at the time? Leveling, trading, fighting, leveling. I loved leveling. I love leveling new jobs, getting new abilities. I thought it was like so cool. I would change up jobs all the time. I lost so much money buying gear and selling it for different jobs. And then Heath Johnson. What notorious monster drop have you gotten from an enemy that sticks out in your head as the most exciting Final Fantasy 11 experience? The Sirocco Kukri, without a doubt. I can't wait to tell a story. Sit down, hunt for games. You've got to experience the Sirocco Kukri story. So, I was in college with my good buddy Jared, and we were roommates sophomore year and playing Final Fantasy 11 again. And I was like, man, my thief, I feel like he's getting like really well geared, but he could use the Sirocco Kukri as like an offhand weapon. Would be awesome. I'd like be attacking so much faster. It would just really complete the whole set and like put me on the next tier of like gear situation. And so I found out that it dropped from like level 21 to 24 hour respawn, crazy high bird out in what's that area after the desert? I don't know why I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, so I went out there. I was like, I guess I'll just hang out and see if he pops. Just like literally wait in that area and hopefully get a time of death and we can go for it another time. My buddy was like, sure, sounds good. So I'm out there and he ends up going to bed. And I'm sitting there in the middle of the area because none of that stuff aggroed. And I've got Carbuncle out. And all of a sudden, like, I get attacked and like Carbuncle starts hitting something. I wasn't even like at my computer. I was getting ready to log off and go to bed. And I like ran back to the computer. I'm like, what's hitting me? And it was the thing popped. And like True Sight attacked me. And I was like, shit. So I book it away from Carbuncle to try and Carby kite it. And I'm like screaming at my buddy. I'm like, dude, it popped. You have to. So he like gets up. He's like, and, like jumps out of bed and like logs in. I Carby kited him like 3 times. Almost died. He logs in. He's already there with me. I forget why he came out. And we start fighting. And he was a red mage ninja. And he was doing the like end spell damage. Just like poking for 0 damage. I don't even think it was working. It was like hitting for 1 damage. We were so pissed. And we like fought him. And it took like half an hour. This thief showed up like right at the end because I was running out of MP. Trying to do like summoner damage, and he was like running out of MP because he tanking this like level 80 notorious monster as his red mage. He had like the Gambu shield. He had some really sick gear at the time, but like still like really hard. And the thief showed up and like helped us get the last little, it was like a sliver, like 5%. I just didn't want to risk it. And it dropped, and it was the most ridiculous thing because there was no reason I should have even been out there that night. A million reasons I could have like missed it by 10 minutes. And it was such a cool piece of gear. My buddy was like, I can't believe we got that. It was a really hard fight. It was just so worth it. It was so awesome, and I loved it forever. And I'm super depressed now because it's useless and it sucks. And there's like a new version, and everyone was like, you can go out and get the new version of the Sirocco Kukri. I'm like, I had the Sirocco Kukri. It was amazing, and the story of how I got it is amazing. I don't want to ruin that and like go out and get a new one. I want to like use mine. I want it to still be good. But oh well. Anyways, I think I'm gonna have to edit this one way more than I thought I would because I think I just like zoned out plenty of times. But thank you so much to everybody who submitted a Q&A question. I had a lot of fun doing this, even though I feel like when I watch this video of like what I did, it's gonna be mostly me like running around as this level 1 character. So excited to be back doing the videos again. Sorry that it took so long. The move kicked my ass. I feel like I was hit by a truck, but just super pumped to be back. I've got a new, I don't know if you can like tell that I'm like really mobile, but I got a adjustable desk so I can like change how I do some of these videos. Pumped to see where that goes. I got a whole new room. I'll show you that when it's clean. I'm hiding it with the green screen, which I don't even know where I'm gonna keep that. It's freaking big. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Seriously, it happened like 3 weeks ago now, but for all the amazing support you guys have helped me get into 2,000 subs. I cannot believe we got the 2,000. It's actually like 2120 now. That's how long it's been since I announced this video. But thank you so much. As always, let me know of different kind of videos you guys want me to do, whether it's Final Fantasy 11 or another game entirely. Anything you guys want to see. I may politely decline, but like seriously, I love the ideas, and I might do it. It might just not be something I thought of. So thanks again for all the amazing support. Like the video if you liked it. Tell your friends about that weird guy on Final Fantasy 11 YouTube still playing Final Fantasy 11 2016, talking about old stories. But definitely subscribe if you're new and somehow watched to the end of this particular video. I don't know why you would have done that, but thanks for sticking around. Definitely subscribe. And I can't wait to see you guys back for the next 1,000, next 10,000, and all future videos to come. So thanks, guys, and have a good one, I guess. See ya.